Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to stream. I'm Ann Richmond, aka Hearthsinger, the head bard in charge around these parts, and today we're going to talk all things BBEG. Specifically, we're going to look at the character of Rezmir from Hoard of the Dragon Queen. So if you are actively playing that and haven't gotten to meet Rezmir yet, this might be a time to just come back for the VOD when you're ready. But if you're someone who's just curious about BBEGs in general, we'll talk a little bit about Rezmir, but we're also gonna, I'm gonna field some conversation with chat about your favorite BBEGs, either in games that you've played or seen streamed, and we'll kind of dissect what the best attributes are of them, and then we'll build them in Eldritch Foundry. And these streams on Thursday, guys, they are sponsored by our friends at Eldritch Foundry. Eldritch Foundry also offers miniature discounts on my Patreon. Like, we have a great relationship, and they support this stream with a giveaway during every stream, so stick around because there might be a chance for you to win an opportunity to create your own character, your own villain in the character creator. If you along the way would like to just get in the character creator and play around with stuff while we're chatting, go on over to Eldritch Foundry. Let me see if I can get this up here. There you go. That'll just give you a little link. And that's actually my affiliate link. So even if you're just visiting, it'll show that we're driving some traffic over there to check things out. And if you do end up making a purchase, if you don't win the giveaway, this is a great way to support the channel because a little bit of that comes back towards me, which is awesome. So if you don't know who I am, I'm a person. Shocking. I'm a tabletop gaming enthusiast with a special interest in role-playing games and characters and character creation, whether as a dungeon master or as a player. And that's what we do on Thursdays here. We build characters and chat about what can make them powerful, or workshop other people's characters, or in this case BBEGs, in chat. So if you guys have any specific thoughts about what makes a good big bad evil guy or gal or non-binary pal, then by all means let me know in the chat, and we'll kind of dive into it. And if you have any questions for me, obviously feel free to put them there. This is more of an open forum conversation. Now, every week before we get started, I like to check out Eldritch Foundry just to see if there are any new releases. You can always tell if there are by looking at the left-hand side here of the Eldritch Foundry character creator, or the Seraformer, as we call it in the deep lore. Know It All Side Guy says, I mean, I always assumed you were a person until you said that, and now you just seem sus, which I get. Let's see. I feel like the music is a little loud. At least it's a little loud for me, so let me fix that up first. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go. That's more like it. I was like, this is a lot of fun, but also I'm dying. In case I didn't say it, Know It All, thank you for that subscription. Suddenly I wasn't sure if I had thanked you. It really means the world to me that you guys come and subscribe and support. So when you're first looking... When you arrive at Eldritch Foundry and you want to know if there's anything new that you haven't seen before, and they're constantly releasing new packs of material for character customization, have a look on the left-hand side of the Seraformer, the character creator here. You can see every section that has a red dot has something new to check out. So let's go check out in the head area what we have. Looks like we have some new horns. These super twisty horns we have. That's awesome. I believe that these new horns are courtesy of Fern, because they were... Fern, if you don't know, is a character on Exandria Unlimited, Critical Role's new limited series. It's been a super fun game to check out, so if you have been checking it out or you've been waiting to check it out, like I want to talk about it, I definitely won't do any spoilered conversations about EXU here, but the miniatures that they use on the show were created by Eldritch Foundry, and one of the cool things is that you can find all the different elements of the characters on the show in the Seraformer, the character creator here. So we have Fern's horns here that have just been added, it looks like. Hey, Jency Defen, I'm so glad. Thank you so much for finding me on Twitter and for coming to hang out. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. And thank you, RT Bomb. All right. So, unless you were talking about the horns, which also cute. Also super cute. We... Am I full of myself? Did I make that mistake? All right. Hair. So we've talked about some of these before. The new developments in hair are also pretty much courtesy of Critical Role. We have some long flaming hair here, which for those of you who are aware, there is a character on the show who has that, and because it was in the very last episode, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but we got to introduce a new character to the team and a new miniature, so that hair is available. We've got, I believe this is Dariax, Matthew Mercer's character's hair. We've got, let's see, I think this is Dorian's hair. And Opal's hair. And this appears to be Orem's hair. Our sweet little halfling boy. We also have a new side-swept hairstyle in the Seraformer. Let's see what else. We've got new beards. I'm guessing that's going to be, yeah, we've got the Dutch beard for Dariax. Now, if you choose something and you do want to get rid of it, it's really easy to do. If you hover over the heading for that section of the character creator, you'll see a little trash can, and you can just delete it there. Or if you had selected, say, this, and you hovered over what you selected in case you selected multiple things on a certain page, you just can delete it from the menu. But, man, the detail in the beards is really good. It's something I don't think about a lot because I don't tend to play characters with beards, which I guess I don't think it's discrimination, but it is something. I'm not entirely comfortable with it. Maybe that's next. Maybe that's the next horizon I need to crest. So then let's see. We got new clothes, tons of stuff from Exandria, from EXU. We've got a scarf, a buckled collar. Looks like I put that scarf on this character. I think I used pretty much all new Critical Role additions on this character. We've got a mage's collar. Cool. I like that. Helmets. We've got a bunch of new mysterious hoods to look at. One of the things I really struggle with hoods is the fact that hoods seem to replace all hair when it comes to character creators. And I just don't love that. I think it makes it hard for me to fall in love. I don't know why hair is so important to me, but it is. Let's see, we've got some new arm guards here, hardened leather plates. And I know they added the little epaulets that I have currently on here because those are from the Dorian character. Where are they? Where are you? Oh, they're literally right here at the top, these ones. So these are the new ones. I like those, actually. We've got these new torso stuff. All the clothing from the CR show, the Critical Role show, is broken up into layers, so you can take pieces of it and include it. And I have to say, the Fira, ooh, correct me if you think I'm wrong in chat, tunic is just really cool looking. I'm super, super into it. But I think for this character, I had decided on one of the versions of Ferns. Yeah. There we go. All right. We also have new handheld items. We've got new blades. Ooh, here are Orem's swords. I don't think this had been added in yet before. Look at that awesome render with all of the like organic filigree and stuff. Oh, it's so cool. We've got a new, this is Fira's collapsing pole for her bow staff. Yeah, it needs more dwarf play, I guess, it would be the accurate, the accurate thing. Druidic shield. So this is Orem's shield which also features like kind of filigree of an ilk. And I wonder who's going to be holding this skull. Only time will tell. So I guess tune in to EXU to find out whose skull this is. Or it might just be something they added. Not everything here is for CR. But I get excited when I look at it every week and see there's new stuff. All right, so we've got some new little bags, like a coin sack. We've got some capsules. This is kind of a cool idea, because who knows what those are. Are they like Jedi capsules? Let's see. And we've got bases, new base items. Ooh, new leaves. Oh, here, let me. So these go down on the bottom of the base, which is really cool. Give things a little bit of texture. Nice. So that's all the new stuff. So let's talk about Rezmir. So I should preface that I am in the middle of running some people through Horde of the Dragon Queen, and we've been on a really long break, but I need to start wrapping my head around it now that the break was kind of enforced due to the addition of a dog to my life. But I do feel like it's time to start like narrowing in on what I want to do with this campaign, because we're coming to the end of Horde of the Dragon Queen, which is the first of 2 books. It ends around level 10, and they have already met a couple of times this character Rezmir the Black. So one of the things that is interesting about this particular campaign is that it was the first campaign they released, I believe, for 5th edition, and they released it, or they finished making it before they had finished Balance. So there's a lot of stuff in here that you won't necessarily see in follow-ups, but one thing that I don't hear a lot about is the fact that there are not just Dragonborn in D&D, but there are also half-dragons. And I realized that I never really looked up the difference between a Dragonborn and a half-dragon. So let's start with that, because we might get some cool hints of things to talk about, because there is a black Dragonborn in the group, and I want to come up with some cool ways to relate. So these are all of the half-dragons that the team has, or not the team, that have been in various incarnations, which doesn't really help. Main article, half-dragon. That's what I need. A half-dragon is a cross between a dragon and another unrelated creature. These things happen. God knows. Most half-dragons were slightly bigger than their other non-dragon parent and displayed features of their dragon parent. These draconic features could be as subtle as serpentine slit pupils, or so prominent that the subject appeared like a dragonborn with wings and a tail. Their other half virtually undetectable. That's really interesting. So it, like a Dragonborn, has the ability to use the breath weapon of its dragon half, but not as potent as a full dragon, and cannot be used as frequently. Half dragons have low light vision and dark vision. They have tinted skin or scales, the same color as their dragon parent, that help protect from physical attacks. Interesting. Okay. Let's just... Is it weird if I just Google what's the difference between a half dragon and a dragonborn? Looks like other people have looked this up. Yeah, so it's a cross. We know that. Dragonborn are just another species entirely from dragons, just as kobolds are different from dragons and dragonborn. Interesting. Can a dragonborn become half dragons? No. And I'm looking at that because of a character in the game who wants to become a dragon, the Dragonborn character. Okay, interesting. So why is Rezmir important? Rezmir is this black half-dragon who is a worm speaker for the cult of the dragon, or the cult of Tiamat. And she is relentless. She's cruel. She is someone that the party has been tracking for some time. In our case, I had her in her custody was the child of one of the players, and so she's maybe a bigger deal in our story than in others, but she also has really good and interesting stats that include being able to cast darkness and have advantages in darkness. And so the first time I had the team actually fight her as opposed to just track her or watch her from afar, they decided to take her on and rescue that sun. And the druid had sunlight and cast it, and it kind of minimized the extent of the battle. And so I did everything I could with the action economy to help Rezmir get out of there, because I thought it would be more satisfying to leave that until like the next time. Hey, what's up, Erenin? Is that how you pronounce it? I hope I didn't botch your name. How's it going? We're talking about BBEGs, and then we're going to make up a version of Rezmir, or at least a character inspired by Rezmir from Hoard of the Dragon Queen on the Eldritch Foundry miniature creator. So here, in my version of Hoard of the Dragon Queen, Rezmir is obsessed with these twin black dragons that have been hiding from the world, that they have been kind of ruling the same territory. They're everyone just thinks this dragon is mysterious and magically fast, but in fact it's two dragons, and they are never seen out at the same time, and they're very careful about it. Rezmir wants to recruit them to the cause of Tiamat, but they're perfectly happy ruling over the Mirror of Dead Men themselves, and haven't been completely convinced. Now, we have this Kalishtar, which is normally an Eberron-specific ancestry, but Kalishtar are basically mortals bonded to dream spirits, kind of like the Trill in Star Trek, if you're familiar. Love the Trill. But they live in this beautiful symbiotic relationship with the Kalishtar, and it is in the lore. I read this thing about the fact that the Kalishtar, if they don't strive for good, then they can fall to evil, because they dreams become nightmares if you kind of let the chaos and the darkness of life in without striving to be positive or to look towards the light. And so that's been kind of a theme of this campaign for that character and her family. And so there's this addition of a prophecy that states that there will be a nightmare who will herald the rise of Tiamat. And that nightmare, it turns out, they thought that it was going to be the sun, and that's why the cultists captured him. But now they don't know who it is. I know who it is. In any case, one of the things I think that makes Rezmir a compelling BBEG is that, meta, all of these players know that the Hoard of the Dragon Queen leads to Rise of Tiamat, and the whole time in Hoard of the Dragon Queen, you're working towards figuring out that this cult of the dragon is a cult dedicated to Tiamat and helping her rise to, end the world, basically. And I feel like, that's kind of understood by the players, if not the characters, and the characters very soon after. And so when you have a threat like that, sometimes it takes multiple BBEGs, and different sections of the campaign to get you from your level 1 through 5 capabilities to your level 10 capabilities to 15 and then to 20. And so I would say Rezmir really lays around the approachable at levels 8 to 10 place. And so I wanted to tie her, instead of just having her be another dragon related bad person, because they've fought half dragons before and won. I wanted her to have sort of a tie. So I think when you're looking past the lower level BBEGs, it's important to look for opportunities for the later levels to make them more tied into what people are doing. I don't know if you guys have thoughts about that. I think it makes sense, especially if it's someone they know. Like in this case, for this particular game, Rezmir is someone they've seen, but not necessarily someone they know. It's certainly someone the mother of the child that Rezmir kidnapped hates. But yeah, I'm so glad you think it's interesting stuff. Ren for short. Not the easiest to pronounce. I'm also super dyslexic, so I was like, Hana. I have a one-syllable name for a reason, but I think it's really pretty. Erenin or Ren. Very nice. I like it. I'm into it. So let's start building. She has a magic sword. You know what? Let's pull up her stats real quick just to see. So when we're building the character, I like to think about like what's visually interesting about them, and make sure that's a key element of the miniature. So let's look up Rezmir stats. All right, here we go. Armor class 13. 15. So she's got a mask, so we'll see if we can pull a mask together in the character creator. That's something I haven't looked at. They've got, so the mask is a visual item, and they also have like a caustic bolt, so they have a ranged spell attack and acid breath. They have legendary actions, and a magical greatsword named Hazuran. So that's the sword, it's the mask, and it's the ability to cast spells. So all of that makes me think kind of warlocky, which makes sense. I mean, this is a person occult, but also with it being a greatsword, maybe more paladin-y or cleric-y. And sometimes these, specific NPCs defy the logic of traditional classes, but when I'm just thinking visually about how to make that read, that's something I want to pay attention to. So let's reset. Hold on. Unsaved changes. No. Lilith Torfear. At least I think that's who this started as. Ooh. So one of the cool things is you can save your characters. And all of the versions of a particular character will be saved under the same place, so you can go back to it over time. All right, so let's see here. Let's go here, and we're going to call this Rez, because we don't believe in breaking copyrights. So here's the cool thing about this, and this might be something that you'll see soon on Eldritch Foundry, is they're going to take every miniature that we make on the stream, and if you just wanted to straight up order that miniature, you absolutely will be able to, which is why I'm being careful. These are characters inspired by BBEGs in various campaigns or in my own campaigns. Ooh. Uno momento. All right, let's see here. So body, we need to go and choose a... Here we go. We call them avatars here. There's like a femme presenting one that looks like this. Okay, upper body. I want to... Let's look at the ruler, right? Because this tells us how many feet, it would appear as next to other characters. Know It All says, I'm so sleepy, but I have to run a game in an hour. Me every day this week. I finally was able to take like an afternoon an afternoon nap. So we're going to make Rez really large because she is a half dragon. I like to make the head size a little bit larger. It makes them a little bit easier to paint. Shoulder width, I think we can make this character a little broader than... Let's see what this looks like in the back. Yeah, okay. Arm mass, we're going to make them a little stronger, a little bigger. Okay. Lower body, gotta get that butt. And legs. We'll see. Hopefully we don't get clipping. Clipping is where a part of the miniature sculpt starts pushing through another part of the render. Like you can see the clipping up here with the shirt when we expanded the shoulders is pushing through the shoulder pads up here and causing clipping. So we'll fix that. We've got this draconic tail, which is the tail. It's the tail we want for sure. No wings for now. Head, got Avatar's horns. We could give them these horns. Man, I kind of like these though. I don't know what it is about the 4 horns, but I kind of live for it. Now, hair is not really a thing that they have. There's part of me that wants... don't want this. It's just ridiculous. I'm so glad you think it's Zen. Yeah, it's super fun. Again, if folks want to, I believe the link just came through in chat. It's just if you scroll up, or if you type in ! Eldritch Foundry, it'll pull it up for you again. So let's see here. We don't want any hair. It's as much as hair is important to me, it can't be important for this particular character. No glasses or goggles here. No eyebrows. I think that's kind of moot. All right, let's look at the facial controls, see what we can get. Wow, that doesn't look happy. Oh, angry. Angry is the way, I think. I think even though this is supposed to be happy, it makes her look frustrated, and I want her to appear frustrated. Ooh, that's... Wow, this is crazy. This is so nuts. Okay, I like that. Brow. Rotate? Ooh. I do kind of like that harsher... Like this gives it the full Maleficent situation, I think. Very intriguing. Some 5e D&D homebrewed campaign. You have secret sinners and stilettos. I love it. Thieves Guild. Oh yes, love that. Do you have like stronghold rules in place for them to build up their kind of resources over time? That's something that I've been doing in my Patreon only game that's been really fun, is to create like a stronghold system where they can build up resources. They just were able to annex an interdimensional space with a bunch of teleportation circles, and normally in a regular campaign I probably wouldn't do it because it kind of breaks transportation, but because these are really meant to be played in more of a West Marches style campaign where everyone's building towards the same story but has the opportunity to come in and out as they like, and experience things in one-shot adventures if that's the ideal for them, because not everybody can play every month or wants to pay every month to play in the game. So so we have opened up an interdimensional space there just so that I can move their adventures around in space a little bit more, so they're not just stuck in the snowy mountains forever. But they earned it. They earned it. All right, so we've got this. Let's look at the nose. What does this consider to be a nose? Nose length? Love that. Oh, yeah. Jaw. This is... As if is what this made me think of. I do have a stronghold system, says Know It All. They have a font... Sorry, they have a front for their guild so far, but it has a secret underground that they can build out and add cool mechanical stuff, and they get NPC followers. Yes, we stan. We stan NPC followers, so we can kill them. I guess, Know It All, what do you think is essential in a BBEG? I feel like things we've touched upon so far are that, like, if the party knows them in some way, or at least knows them by reputation, as opposed to, like, I think a common mistake is putting yourself as a DM in a situation where the players are able to get to know the BBEG too fast. So it's good to kind of gate your delivery of information about them, or their chance encounters with them, or have them be somebody like that's interacts with them normally. They have no idea that's behind everything. You know, these are all good stuff, because the satisfaction, I think, from destroying a big bad evil guy, gal, or non-binary pal in the end, I think comes from feeling, I guess the emotional payoff is what I'm talking to, as opposed to just the mechanical we won the fight payoff. Comes from feeling a little bit righteous about having done it, that they deserved what they got, I guess. Is that weird? I guess let me know in chat if you think differently about it. But for BBEGs, Know It All says, I like to determine what their personality is, what their end goal is, and after that the actions should just follow those two things. I mean, that is true, and that's kind of true, I think, for every character. Every character needs like a true north, which is not to say, I know we've talked about this a little bit, and I've certainly talked about it on my YouTube channel, which if you haven't checked it out, I'll throw it in chat, but how to create an active character. And this is really a good thing to think about, whether you're creating an NPC or a PC, is what do they want? Because then no matter what your GM throws at you, or what the players do to throw your, plans off, or thwart, as they should be thwarting your evil dastardly plans as a DM, that's the situation you're setting up for. No matter what happens in those scenarios, that character has a true north, something they can try to do. So they can always try a different way to get to that objective if the first way is gated off. Giving them a fatal flaw and a redeeming quality, I think, is also huge. I think I'm at the end of my Curse of Strahd campaign, and one of the things that I think my Dungeon Master has done really well is to show us, why Strahd has done everything he's done. And that doesn't mean that we think he's great or redeemable in some way, but like there are tragic flaws, and you can see where he veered off the course, and what his detriments are, and how his actions were kind of his objectives were stunted at various times, that drove him deeper and deeper into being as brutal and vicious as he is. I love the way that our DM has built those things into the story, so that we can see and understand those things. And I've talked about it a lot, but I play Irina as a player character, and Irina's typically an NPC, and it's been one of my favorite things about the character arc is to contend with confronting someone who's been your abuser and has been the abuser of your soul for generations, and each time it's a different story, because you don't always view him, the person with that soul hasn't always viewed him as an abuser every single time. So yeah, it's fascinating. Anyways, yeah, I think depth for BBEG is really where I'm pointed. If you're looking for a good villain, a good villain has depth, and I think Disney villains are a good place to start. It doesn't always have to be complicated. Just because we're saying it has depth, it doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs to make sense. I think the Maleficent films do a really good job of adding a little bit of color and interest to the Maleficent story, but ultimately this is a person who feels left out and othered, and like she's a monster, and she's not invited to a party. That's literally the only reason Maleficent sucks in the original Disney Sleeping Beauty. But yeah, I think the live action with Angelina Jolie has done a really good job of giving her that feeling of like a lack of family and a lack of belonging, and being misunderstood, and looking like a monster, and sometimes feeding into that because it seems to be the easiest thing to do, is to be what they expect of you. you know, and in this case they turn Maleficent kind of into the hero, right? And that's not necessarily what you're looking to do with a an evil character or villain in your campaign, but I do like to bring it up as a, you know, an example of their reason for going down a darker path can be simple, and it can have started many years before, you know, the party started making decisions as a group. Okay, let me not lose the plot here on this Resmere thing. Let me go to the chin. I want her to be a little more severe because, again, that's how I think of her. The length, though. Yeah. All right. Clothing. Marauder armor. Oh, that's very intense. I don't want that for her. Interesting. This is very gothy. This makes me think of like a fantasy version of Spike from Buffy the Vampire Hunter, which, man, hasn't it been a long time since any of us thought about that? All right, well, let's reclothe this person. So I do like this mage's collar. And then doesn't have to be complicated to have depth. In the past, I've crammed too much complication in, says Ren. Yeah, I think we're all guilty of that to some degree. I love my characters, whether they're NPCs that, you know, I think are just of interest to the party or significant to the party, or I've come up with some cool twist and I want to make sure everybody gets the key plot points so that they can understand it, or sometimes see ahead of, you know, guess where I'm going with something, and not be totally surprised because they didn't have any clues along the way. And that can be like a hard road for sure. Now, I wonder if Resmere with the hood, wow, those eyebrows are just right in there, just right in the hood. We can fix that. Oh, this is not going to work, is it? No. This almost works, but I don't think that it is going to. Okay. No hoods. I get it. The head of this dragon has a lot going on anyways. Let's look at shoulder stuff. Now we want to look at things that say, what says dragon cult to you? Nobles pauldrons. Who doesn't love a good skull? What if we unlinked them, right? And then we get rid of that. We've got one skull. Love that. I don't hate that idea. Yeah. Oh, wait. These are... These look like rams, though, so I don't love that. Let's go back. No, I don't think that works. These are very big. I kind of just like the skull. The skull. Yeah, having the team, Know-It-All is pointing out, having the team work with the BBEG before they know they're the BBEG, I always think is like such a fun play. A lot of people do it these days, but I think there's a reason for that. And I think it helps develop again, that personal need, and in some case, you know, that eventual guilt for when they discover what they've been up to the whole time, and then suddenly, you know, they're thinking, man, could we have stopped this earlier had we only known, or had we figured it out. I think that is a fun time. So let's figure out this whole what are we wearing situation. Now, I like the issue that I'm having here is that I like this collar, and I need something that's not going to be so thick that it covers it up but does look like armor. Now, I could go this kind of Xena warrior princess route, but I do think that's a lot going on. This is also a lot going on, but it makes a lot of sense. Now, if in a world where I took off the collar, and I know that's crazy, who is this ram, though? We have to ask ourselves. A lot of times I'll make, if I'm going to do that, Ren, I'll make it the person who's been, like, helping them get quests the whole time, or I'll make it one of their, you know, siblings or parents that they have been working with, or just, you know, someone that they've already met, and I'll usually bring them into the scenario as somebody that they have to rescue or help early on, and then you know, as they build that person up by repeating the same place, repeating visits to a same place and checking in on them as they, you know, kind of get settled, I'll kind of lead the stories together that way. It depends on the character, though, because, you know, sometimes the different social statuses can have, you know, if it's someone like, you know, the leader, the political leader in an area that you've been serving this entire time, and it turns out they're behind the whole thing, or like you can use the Jafar scenario where you have an evil vizier. I don't think I've ever met a vizier that wasn't evil, though, so that one's kind of hard to hide from the from the party. If you ever tell someone that somebody is a vizier, it's over. It's really over. Amazing. All right, let's look for. I'm gonna go back to the torso because I don't really think we've quite figured this out. Oathbreakers. That's what I'm talking about. This is it. We have found her. Sign me up. All right, cool. Gloves. Should we give her little bows? Little bows on her wrists? Tee-hee. Oh no. Let me look here. We have some spammers. Everybody say hi, spammers. Everybody say bye, spammers. Awesome. Hey, thanks, Know-It-All. Appreciate that. Typically by introducing a bigger evil, like a demon destroying invasion, BBEG doesn't want the city destroyed either, but neither side can repel it by themselves. Yeah. All right, let's have a look here. I want to give them some bracers that are not these ribbons, which are 100% a joke. These are kind of fun. Are there any, like, of those draconic ones, though? Draconic plate. Bony bracers. Love that. That's fun. Doombod. Ooh, clawed gloves. That's what we like to see. So angy. Yeah, all right. And now pants for sure. We need something going on down here. Now, I like the idea. Ooh, I don't love it for this pose, but you know what? Let's skip ahead here and just change the pose for a second. Man, these legs being straight out is problematic for these half skirts, huh? Contemplative. Man, everyone is so low to the ground. Can this creature just not stand up straight? Is that just not an option? I don't think it's an option, guys. Totally good examples from Sai there in chat. Okay, let's think here. Where were we? We need pants. It's very easy to see where we left off because there ain't no pants. There are pants. They're just not. It's not really what I want yet. So okay, pants. I like the idea of giving this character a half skirt or like a loincloth type situation. I don't like this at all. Backwoods Enchanter. Because again, there's a cultist quality, and I also like, when I think about painting anything with scales, it's a lot more fun when there's exposed skin or exposed scales. And so that's why I'm kind of trying to think about a way to leave at least some of the legs bare. Unless something else just looks awesome. We could always do fishnets. I don't love Rezmir in fishnets, but it is something that we can look at here. There's also this wizard skirt. It's a little too frilly for me in this case. Don't think Rezmir would fancy it at all. Yeah, there's something about this where I just really want bare legs. There's something really bizarre. This doesn't help. Blade Singer's pants. Fishnets, says Red. Listen, I hear where your head's at. I can respect it. Barbarian's loincloth. Now I don't hate that. I can live with that. I actually like that better than the... Okay, great. And do we need a cape? You know, not with the tail. This is the problem, is that if you want to paint a good tail, putting a cape on top of it, and this is one of the best parts about using a character creator to make your miniatures or create the pre-supported STLs for 3D printing, which you can also do here for, I believe, $3.99 per miniature, is you can think critically, not just about like physically what they'd be wearing, what they would wear, but what they should be wearing in order to make it the most interesting paint that it can be. So yeah, I think that's something that is really, really great about using character creators like this. Now, it is also, I don't know, I think the other important thing that I like, I guess, or that I want to point out about Eldritch Foundry is just it's not so cartoony as other options are. So I feel like it takes my characters seriously. Not that every character is serious, right? But if your BBEG isn't wearing fishnets to Rocky Horror on Saturday nights, what are they really doing with their lives? So Snowhaven, amazing. I love that point. No Haven got to meet the BBEG for the first time in our last game of Sunlit Seekers for my patrons. So, No Haven, how did you feel like I did with playing the BBEG? I mean, feel free to roast me if you want. I'm happy to be roasted by you. If anyone was gonna roast me. No Haven says, yeah, not scared at all, by the way. Yeah, in this case, the BBEG is an Arc Fae. And she's my favorite. I mean, by my favorite, I mean that I hate her, but I also love her. All right, now we need to come up with a magic sword for this character that is not a ridiculous shark's tooth. We need like blades. This is gonna be. We need a great sword in one hand and like magic in the other. What in the world? It's Hazaran is the name of the sword. Does this sword look like it could be called Hazaran? This with like the dragon head on it? Yes. I mean, not dragon head, it's probably like more like a kobold head or something. Kind of love that. Or this that has a literal dragon on it. Roast you? I loved it. I mean, I'm scared, but I lived. Or you loved it. Yeah, I think... So another aspect of, like, how to run a villain... some villains are just angry and powerful and therefore dangerous because they're destructive. Like, I think it's a good idea when you're building out, even with a simple objective for them, what makes them dangerous. For this character, in Sunlit Seekers, I think one of the things that makes her dangerous, aside from her, powers, is that she is very insightful, and loves, it's both a blessing and a curse, but like Arcphase like temptation and tricks. And I think her insight allows her to understand a person's emotional weaknesses, not just, capturing their child or their husband or something like that, but the idea that they might see a chink in their proverbial armor and play upon that. I think the scene was really fun that we did with No Haven in that particular game, because No Haven had exposed his character's emotional neck earlier on, and it gave me a cue as to something that character loves or cares about. So this is the lesson. Never tell your DM anything you care about. No, but it makes it a more interesting interaction. But you do have to be careful with it, right? Because some people, have had really negative experiences with being manipulated or gaslit in previous relationships or family stuff. So you have to be sure that, in your session zeros and stuff with people, that they're all right with that kind of interaction. And No Haven and I, checked in during that to make sure everybody was okay during and afterwards. But yeah, well, thank you. And that is the idea. No Haven said that really made it much more impactful. We were at a point where No Haven was trying to negotiate for the life of a companion who had died. And he made a really compelling argument that appealed to the research he had done about this particular Arcphase, and her desire to, her jealousies and her, her personal chinks and her emotional armor. And he played upon that. But there's always a cost to when you want a big ticket item like the resurrection of a person or the return of a life. And so it becomes about an emotionally hard decision once the battle is over. Somebody once said to me, no, they didn't say it to me. I don't know why I put it this way, but I read an interaction with somebody who was talking about how they said, when do you know combat is over? Like, do you ever fudge the end of combat? And they said, I run combat until it doesn't feel fun anymore. And while there's probably going to be a lot of controversy about that idea. Like, people want to make sure that all the roles are honest and nothing is fudged. And there are definitely players out there that really need that level of like transparency in order to cope. And I totally respect that. I need the fudge every so often because I think you can make for more interesting stories as long as those fudges aren't punishing somebody who punishing or rewarding somebody who might not otherwise have like achieved that or lost that. You know, at this point, I knew that the battle repercussions were over, and so this was really a chance for a cool RP scene to happen, which when you're playing in this kind of West Marches style game where people are coming and going, you know, you have to really capture those moments where you can make good on the emotionally impactful stuff, because people aren't necessarily there every single time. Certainly No Haven has been to his share of games with me, which is awesome. But you know, that's also when you want to reward it, because they might not be there the next time. So this seemed like a time I kind of, you know, removed it from time and space to enable that to happen. And you know, is that technically an ability that an Arc Fae has? Like, no, if you look up an Arc Fae in the monster manual, they can't like port you to an extra dimensional space and like stop time and raise the dead and all this stuff at once. But sorry to break your immersion, No Haven, but I felt like I number one feel that Arc Fae aren't powerful enough based on what the kinds of creatures that they say the Seelie and Unseelie court Arc Fae are. And you know, just your run-of-the-mill random Arc Fae you run into in the Feywild. So there's that aspect of it where I want to level up the abilities a little bit to match the story, but there's also just the aspect of like, this was what was right for the moment, and it didn't really change anything. It just gave a nicer emotional backdrop where the players could focus on something. Yeah. No Haven says, I was just in for the ride. Saving my companion was a gift. It's true. But did you really save her, or is her life immeasurably more complicated? Ha 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 ha. That's fun. That's a fun time. Okay, so now we need magical effects for the other hand here. Let's find... I do like these. Now they have kind of a caustic bolt. This is a lightning bolt. Ball of lightning, not a bad idea though. Flame orb, fire twister. This just makes me think of Fantasia, when Zeus is just legit throwing lightning down there. Am I making that up? Does that happen in Fantasia? I feel like that's a thing. There's nothing here that really reads caustic bolt to me. I guess mage hand. This is a mage hand, but I could kind of paint it green and make it super gross. What do you guys think? Should caustic bolt be a literal lightning bolt? Like an acidic lightning bolt, or should it be mage hand? I guess let me know in the chat what you think and I'll go with that. Back items. An accordion. No, I don't think that. A bow staff, a sword sheath. Yeah, let's put the sheath back there. I feel like a component pouch is definitely something they would have. And I'm fine with the other side being what it is, but let's do like a poison bottle. Or maybe a scroll. Yeah, scroll seems right. And now we have to look at poses. So there are lots of different options we can use. +1 for literal. Let's see here. Just a 30-plus-year-old half-dragon contemplative. I honestly like this kind of start for it because it makes me feel like she's always looking behind her back. Now, if we do this, let's look at arms. So here, you'll see the little points here, and as you move, this is where you're going to be twisting or moving the arm from. So this shoulder, I'm going to tilt up, roll, not roll too much. Let's see. Let's go to upper arm. This is really hard to see because they're two hands. Okay. Now, one of the reasons that I'm doing this is that I want, I'm trying to make space between these items and the arms so that they're easier to paint, is basically what I'm trying to do. Apparently, I'm still advertising Ruben's Etsy shop. Ruben was on here last week talking about the experience of 3D printing miniatures for the first time. So if you didn't check in last week, that's definitely a good video. Actually, it wasn't last week. It might have been 2 weeks ago. I don't know. What is time, really? All right. Now, this tail, as we can see, is clipping into the bottom. You know what? Let's pick base items first. Base effects. You know, I do love that. But maybe flame ring is more fun. Because I think I can make... You know what? I actually do like this because I think I can make this look like her darkness spell dissipating to reveal her, which could be really fun. So let's stick with that. Now tomorrow, just in case you're curious, tomorrow I will be here again at 6 p.m. Eastern with my friend Chris for our Around the Hearth podcast recording, and we're going to be talking about our favorite spell for every level of spells, which was inspired by the fact that Know-It-All Sci Guy and I spent a lot of time last night trying to pick our spells for our Avernus campaign that we're in together. And I was like, there's just a lot of good spells. And some are just like really fun, but you don't get to use them. But they're so great when you can use them creatively. Yeah, it's a good time. Tail. Let's find out where. So I'm trying to find, there we go. So here is where I might be able to twist the tail up. Ooh, I don't like that. Let's try and tilt that up. Okay, and then hold on, we gotta get our tunes, our sick tunes cranking again. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. So you made your first choice, counterspell. Yes, that is a good choice for you to make, I think, my friend. So Know-It-All plays a bard, and I play a cleric in that game, and I play a Twilight Domain cleric, which I am really loving. I'm curious what other people's favorite cleric paths are, their domains are. Because I feel like clerics can be so different and so interesting. Yeah, okay. So, why did I do that, right? I want to reveal this so I can actually get my paintbrush to this and the bag that's right here. And I might actually go to the back items, this sword sheath, and twist it a little bit. Yeah, just so that... it doesn't clip into that. So I think the straight up and down is good. A Tempest Cleric. Yeah, I played through Storm King's Thunder with a Tempest Cleric, and she was a BA. A BA. Not in the same way of, what do you do with a BA in English? What is my life going to be? A different kind of BA. Crystal Growth. That's cool. 4 years of college and plenty of knowledge have earned me this useless degree. I mean, she would like treasure, but a treasure pile, perhaps? I can't play the bills yet, 'cause I've got no skills yet. The earth is a big, scary place, but somehow I can't shake the feeling I might make a difference to the human race. Wow. That Avenue Q was in there deep. Did not realize that was sitting there right below the surface, guys. All right, guys, I think we did it. I think this is good. This is our version of a character in the Eldritch Foundry character builder. Oh, you know, we do need to fix this. Don't love that. Body, legs. Ooh, okay. Well, this is not great. I don't think we can change the legs. So how can I know I just finished this, but it needs to be able to... Okay, cool. Let's fix the arms from here. We literally just did this, but we're gonna have to... do it again. All right, so that's that. Everyone has space. Now let's go to the right arm and tilt. Nah, that needs to be there. There we go. I fixed it. Let's see. Niche cleric, but the arcane domain. The spellbreaker ability is amazing. What is spellbreaker? Gensi Defen, thank you so much for coming to hang out. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks for that follow. So glad you were able to come and hang. All right, I think this is good. Now we just have to fix the item. The treasure pile needs to get moved and twisted. There we go. We did it. We fixed it. And then I'm going to take this and move it. There we go. All right, now we did it. Now we save. Boom. Done. So let's go ahead and get this giveaway running. Everyone let me know, I guess, let me see. Well, how should we do this? If you want to be considered for the giveaway, you're going to have to be active in chat. And to get you active in chat, and subscribers are 2 times as likely to win, I want you to name your favorite Disney villain now. And while you guys are putting your favorite Disney villains, since we've been talking about BBEGs for the last hour, I will tell you a little bit about how to find me and all the other stuff I get up to on the greater internet. I just posted a really fun video about kind of the little ways that gatekeeping can happen, not the bigger social context of gatekeeping and the reason why certain people of certain identities don't feel comfortable in various parts of the gaming community and things like that. I think there are a lot more people who have taken a more educated stab at that. But I did a video where I discussed all the little things we do that might drive people away from the hobby when we're just trying to get them into things that might overwhelm them or invalidate their limited previous experiences or even just their inexperiences, even if they're not limited. So I hope that you guys will check that out. My YouTube channel is just youtube.com/AnnRichmond. I'll throw it in chat. And I try to put out weekly videos. It hasn't quite been that lately, but go ahead over there, give me a subscription. We are almost to 1,000 subscribers there, so I would love for you to join the Baby Bards over there. And of course, follow here because I'm live on Thursdays and Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern, hanging out with all of you guys, and trying to make the most of our time together with Eldritch Foundry sponsored streams. They do giveaways on both streams, this one and the Friday one, of miniatures for the community to be able to immortalize their most memorable characters. Jafar, why not Jafar and Ursula? That's what I always say. Scar is an excellent choice. Jafar's up there for me. I feel like he doesn't get as much credit as he deserves for being a badass, a master manipulator. Shere Khan, wow, the deep cut, Ren. The deep cut of Shere Khan. But yeah, if you want to support the work I do here, obviously showing up is the best way to do that. Showing up to stream, watching the videos, leaving comments, entering the conversation. Of course, hanging out on the Discord are all totally free ways to support the channel and help more people find us and talk about all the things we love and are fascinated by in this hobby. But I'd love for you guys to consider joining the Patreon. If you are interested, I'll throw it in chat. The Patreon gives you access to customized weapons, and not customized, I guess, original weapons and different things for use in 5th edition designed by me. It'll also give you access to past iterations of the podcast as well as future iterations of patron-specific content. You'll get a discount on Eldritch Foundry items at every single level, and you'll become eligible to sign up for D&D games run by me every single month, and of course to just come to any patron-only events. We've been watching movies MST3K style. We've also done Jackbox games and all of that. So please come and support the Patreon because sign-ups just opened for our August games. So you'd be right in time to sign up for it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do this giveaway. Ren, you win! It's your first day here, and you are already walking away with an incredible opportunity. I will send you a little whisper here, Ren. Let me get you going. And in that whisper here on Twitch, which you'll receive from me in just a little bit, go ahead and give me your email address, and I will follow up with I guess you'll get it by email, but I will add a free miniature on Eldritch Foundry to your account. Yeah. All it takes is showing up, and then stuff could be yours. It's pretty great. Be prepared for some sensational news. That news is you won. Congrats, Ren. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. I hope you had an awesome time. I'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern for a discussion with my good friend Chris about our favorite spells at every level. Yes, I'm very excited about it. All right, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.